Hi, everybody, and hi, my precious, beautiful sister and co-host, Green Mooney, all the way from Arizona, Mesa, Arizona, and myself from Stockholm, Sweden today, right?
Yes.
Talk about difference in climate. So, welcome everybody to Cosmic Sis-Stars Show with Anne and Corrine, and we are opening the circle once again, as we always do, inviting you into a warm, uplifting space where ancient wisdom meets modern energetic tools. Today, we are diving into the art of harmonizing frequencies, exploring how tuning forks, Reiki, sound, intention, and subtle energy practices can support balance, clarity, and deep inner healing. This episode is an invitation to slow down, breathe, reconnect with the natural rhythms that live within and around you, that we always have if we don't look at the hustle and bustle of the world, right? So, whether you are curious about vibrational healing or already walking this path, you are welcome in this shared field of resonance. Settle in, open your heart, and join your cosmic sisters as we explore the frequencies that help us return to harmony. And today we have Wednesday, January 21st, and our future in Australia have Thursday, January 22nd, and it's the year 2026. Fascinating, isn't it? Time just flies. And the topic for today is going to be harmonizing frequencies, the dive into healing tools from tuning forks to Reiki. Plus your questions. So if you want to ask anything, don't hesitate. Just write something in the comment and we answer to our best ability. Just a little bit of how you can find us. You can find upcoming and past episodes at our brand new YouTube channel, Cosmic Guardians, at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111. We do continue to stream live on youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth/streams. And you can find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians. And of course, if you want to find me or Corrine and find how to call Corrine, her email address, her website, everything of that nature, you go to angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic-guardians or directly to liquidenergyhealing.com. Okay? And our last show here on Cosmic Guardians and Cosmic Sisters was last Wednesday, January 14th. We always go live on Wednesdays. My time, this is 7 p.m. in Stockholm. For Corrine, this is in Mesa, Arizona. It's 11 a.m., right?
Mm-hmm.
And we always, if you go to angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming dash past. You can find upcoming and past episodes, and there's always a link to the time for each and every show, right?
Yep.
We always come live at the same time. And what else do we have to say? I think it's time to start diving deep.
That's a lot of dashes and pauses, and I'm glad you're saying that because I don't know if I would be able to get it past my eye teeth. They kind of get clouded, and I can't see what I'm saying. Yes,
Yes.
this
Sometimes you feel like your tongue is in the way.
exactly, and but this is a fascinating movement that we're going to go into because we are energy and we vibrate and we resonate and we function fully on energy. When we did the Celestine prophecies, we were talking so much about energy. But our whole existence begins when two complete different frequencies join, the male energy and the female energy, and it creates a third vibration and frequency, which is our uniqueness. When we are completely different, and it is uniquely ours. And we come in and we are literally human antennas. We respond to all the frequencies around us, and some so subtle that they have to be felt, not heard. But even before we're born, we're tuning into the frequency of our mother and father, preparing us to be able to respond to the world around us through this divine gift of frequency. And those that have been blessed in ancient times, and even now, that seem to be able to tune into that frequency more easily, those are the ones that are asked to be the healers and the oracles, because they receive this energy in such a pure way, and can help us through what we need. And today we're going to be talking about two particularly wonderful energies that I love. But we have the singing bowls. I'm going to.
Wow.
That frequency is 444, 444, and that is the angelic realm, and it also helps the immune system. Um, and so we have the singing bowls, and they originally kind of came from Tibet. If you're familiar with India, they use the gong a lot, which there again sends out that vibration. And then we have our voice, the greatest means of vibratory healing that we're given. And even the bells and the buildings that have been created were designed to carry that frequency and bring that healing. But now we're going to talk about tuning forks. So what would you like to bring in about those, Anna?
I have tuning forks. I didn't bring any with me to show, but they look like basically the tuning forks you use for instruments
Yeah.
to make them make the sound you want them to make, the correct one, right? But
Yes.
tuning forks, they work on the body as well, and they are fantastic. So if you set the tuning fork in motion, so you give it a little bit of a bang, right? It doesn't sound anything. And then you place it on top of the area you want to um, have vibrating on your body, and you feel the energy, and that's absolutely fantastic. And because we talked about this before, we are made of, I think, is it 70% liquid blood,
Yeah.
water in our bodies, and we resonate with frequency and energy. And a lot of people, and they feel things, they sense things, and maybe they can't put it into words. But I'm going to tell you something that was a mystery for me. When I'm in concrete buildings, I can sense the vibrations, and that was very odd for me.
Yeah.
Even if I'm on the fifth floor and someone else is on the first floor, of course they need to make movement enough. I can't hear it, but somehow I say I hear it because I feel it, I sense it in my
Yes.
body, right?
Well, interestingly enough, if you start a tuning fork vibrating and you put it near another one, that other one will start vibrating. So that's kind of what your experience in from the body itself. And
Yeah.
every organ in our body vibrates on a different frequency. I learned
Yeah.
this way back in the dark ages when I was taking my massage training. But at that time, it was called just sound therapy. And uh, different organs would respond to different musics. For instance, if you really hated Barbara Streisand, you really needed to have your uh, kidneys checked, not your kidneys, but your gallbladder, because it was it was letting you know something was wrong with the gallbladder. But I have all the cassettes for the different body parts. Of course, now I have to find a cassette player because that's obsolete. But I started becoming interested in vibration. And when I was able to, I bought a whole set of tuning forks and was really getting into using them. And then when my house burned down, all the chemicals that they poured in to put the fire out kind of eroded them. And I didn't want to use them because if they're off, you're sending the wrong frequency in there. But
Yeah.
yes, they're a beautiful, beautiful tool to use. Yes.
They are, and they are precise tools for sound healing,
Mhm.
meditation, sorry, and vibrational therapy. So each tuning fork, they have sets sometimes, or you buy individual ones with different frequencies, because they carry different frequencies when you attach them to you, right? So they're
Yes.
made for specific frequencies. And these vibrations interact with the body to achieve healing results, therapeutic results, such as balancing chakras, relieving physical tension, enhancing mindfulness, but also to give a specific area or an organ or something treatment. But like everything else, it's not I did it once and I'm healed. No,
Correct.
it is a process, but you can help uh, different areas in your body with sound healing. And actually, I have to bring something else up. I don't have it to show, but I have a crystal pyramid. The edges are made from crystal, right?
Hmm.
And you give it um, a bang with something, and it starts giving off sound. So that also is some kind of sound healing. It's
Yes.
giving off a frequency, but we are so um, sensitive to frequencies and
Yes.
energy because we are energy, right?
And because we are energy, all of the things that are being done around us, like Wi-Fi, and then, every time they change it, it changes how we feel. Um, I protested one time when they were going to put a Wi-Fi tower across the street in a park, and they sent out a little thing and said, "Do you object?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And they said, "Well, why?" It's for the good of the people, and those are fighting words for me. And I said, "Well, do you realize that when you do that, you have now changed the frequency around here? When birds come, it confuses them. When animals are around, it confuses them, and it really destroys our immunity." And hint, hint. you know, but because we resonate so much, we are energy from the moment of conception. And by using these means, it's going to help restore the balance to the body. And when the body is in balance, it can heal itself, and that's the beauty. Um,
Yeah. And that there are so many different um, hertz, megahertz, vibrations, frequencies.
yes.
But they say that common frequencies used in healing, the most common probably, are 128 hertz for
Uh-huh.
grounding, for the nervous system, relaxation, 136.1 hertz for meditation, breath alignment. And as you said before, even with our voice, we are making vibrations and frequency and energy. And
Yes.
also 528 hertz is the love frequency. And
Yeah,
I mean, we have everything from in between from 0 up to over 1,000, right? But that's
exactly.
very, very high energy. So you talked about the angelic realm, and that energy is from 444 and above, right?
Right. And my bowl resonates at 444.
Fantastic.
And
How did you find that bowl? That wasn't a coincidence,
oh,
was it?
I got this message from my crew, and they said, you need to find a piece of opalescent turquoise crystal. Okay. Now, I had never seen turquoise crystal before. And Arizona is famous for its gem and precious stones. Every year they have this big get together from people all over the world that come to show their wares. And I've lived in Arizona for 50 years, and I had never ever gone down to Tucson for that affair. But I was told to find this, and I thought, well, the gym show's there, so I'm just going to drive down. I had no idea that the whole town became a place of showing. Every little strip mall had people showing, and then the big coliseums and the big buildings and the hotels all had, well, these people are from here and everything else. Well, I'm following my instructions, so I park my car at one of these little hotels, and there's three buses: the red bus, blue bus, and green bus. And I go, I don't know what one to get on, so I'll just get on that one. And I literally was parked here, and there was like a restaurant here. It went past the restaurant, and then it started right down by the little motel that I had just parked in front of. And I look out the window, and there sits a turquoise, opalescent singing bowl. And I said to the driver, this must be my stop. So I got out and I purchased my opalescent singing bowl. But it's given me great thrill, and it survived the fire, so I was really happy about that. But sometimes when you say yes, you just never know where you're going to go.
That is being in the flow, following your guidance and listening to your higher self, right?
Correct.
And that's perfect. We can't make wrong decisions if we are following that urge that's coming from within. And when we see this is obvious, right? So we
Yes.
just go on and do it. But it's wonderful. Um, Healing in general. I have Reiki too, but I'm not as advanced as you are. You are a Reiki master teacher.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I have been a Reiki master teacher for over 45 years, and I took it because it was going to assist me doing things. I never dreamed that that would become who I resonate with. And I'm going to add this because it just came to me. I'm being told that people say the word Reiki as we do in English, and it's just like one word. It is actually Reiki, REI, and then KI. And it literally means universal life force energy. And if that doesn't kind of say it all, I don't know what it could be. But
Yeah.
what started out as a tool, and I was taking massage at the time, and medical massage. And from the results that people told me, I must have been really good. Of course, I can't do it to myself, so I really don't know, but I was getting a lot of raves. And then I realized that because I was Reiki trained, that they were receiving the Reiki. And so I
Yeah.
started laughingly using that as I called it my meat tenderizer because I could slide my hands under the person's shoulder and I could just feel it relaxing. So I didn't have to get in there and do any real heavy work. And I'm going, I don't know if I'm going to give my trade secret away, but the beauty of Reiki is it's intelligent and it will always go for the highest good. It cannot do any harm. And if somebody claims to be doing Reiki, but they're not doing it with the purest intent, Reiki will dissipate. And I just being around an entity that is so intelligent, and it chose me, and then I chose it. So it's been a beautiful journey. It really has.
Yeah. I have to admit, like you, I took my first Reiki with the purpose of helping myself on my own journey.
Exactly.
And I think that is very, very common. And and they said to me, I didn't really grasp what that meant, but in the beginning I was told that you're going to see shifts in your life and they count for 21 days or 3 weeks, but they also said that it can be less, but it can be longer,
Yes.
right? So that's why we always pinpoint every healing process. And they usually talk about you feel a shift within 21 days or 3 weeks, right? And so
Right.
with Reiki. But actually, my whole life took a new turn. But you had to do the work as well, meaning that you don't need to do anything with the energy, but you are awake and you are aware and you
Yes.
listen and you follow, right?
And you do your, as we like to say, our spiritual hygiene. And when I was looking for a Reiki master teacher, I had the first two levels, and after my second level, I had a friend that I was working with, and I said, "Oh, I just got this second level. Can I work on you?" And I put my hands on her, and literally, her shoulder kind of rotated and went click, and the other one rotated and went click. And I was determining whether to become a chiropractor, which is kind of like a chiropractor but more intense. And I'm looking at this, and at the foot of the table, it got very brilliantly white. And I hear this voice say, "This is where I want you to work. This is who you are." And of course, I go, "Well, that was interesting." And but but I began my journey for a Reiki master teacher in the Phoenix area, and they all had been trained in non-traditional Reiki. I took my first training from a student of the granddaughter of Mrs. Takata, the last living master.
Yeah.
So my lineage is the way that it had been handed down and handed down and handed down. It hadn't been added to or subtract from. So I was determined to stay in that vein. It took me a year and a half to find someone, but the first thing that she said to me is, "You must master yourself."
Yeah.
And I worked with her and followed what she said to do for my self mastery. And after about a year and a half, she takes me aside and she said, "You're ready to become a master teacher." And then that was another year that I was with her. So um, it's very, very personal to me when we speak of Reiki.
Yes,
And
it is. And
yes,
it's interesting because, like you, I was advised by a friend to find a Reiki teacher in Stockholm,
yeah,
2002 or 2001. 2001. And she actually, a Swedish older lady now, but she had her teacher, someone called, I don't remember her name, unfortunately, from Canada, who took her Reiki from Mrs. Takata. So my
yes,
lineage is
Is
not
pure.
very long either. And
Exactly.
I think that the best thing when I took my second Reiki, after 16 years, I found my original teacher. She was still on and doing these things, right? Isn't that incredible? I didn't continue to be a master teacher, right?
Right.
But that's a choice.
Yeah.
Of course, anybody can. I'm not talking bad about all these new things that have come. I don't want to say anything bad about them, but to keep an energy authentic and pure,
Mhm.
you don't need to do things with Reiki, as you said. You don't need to say go to the kidney and do the healing or do
Not
this.
at all.
No, because it's intelligent and it goes by itself.
Yes.
You just need to send it. Sometimes there are certain people you can feel that they don't want to, even if they requested,
Yep.
they don't take it. But that's a different story. That's something else, right?
Yes. Yes. They're
But,
they're
but
ver- yeah.
I promise you, I remember when the second one, I was alone with my teacher. The first Reiki, we were a group of 4 or 5 people,
Uh-huh.
and we were training on each other after. And I promise you, I could feel the difference in my hands because the energy, a lady said, because I was doing something over her head, and she said, well, if your hands feel like a fire.
Yeah. Well, as I was making my journey and trying out different teachers, and I found that I felt nothing from the teacher, but I felt nothing from the student. And a lot of people are doing this online training, and this is something that needs to literally be passed from teacher to student. You know, you can do a lot of things long distance, and Reiki does work long distance, but the attunements need to be right
In
there.
person. Yeah.
And as soon as I do the first attunement, and there's 4 parts to it, and that's very important, um, I have the student put their hands on themselves, and they can feel it flowing. And so something it transpires, um, and the preparation of preparing your body to be able to handle it's like 24/7 a bolt of lightning runs through my body, which
Yeah.
would kill if I had not had my nervous system prepared to handle this energy. But it's funny because I had someone ask me, one of my students, they said, well, Mrs. Takata first answered this, and they said to her, oh, how do you turn Reiki on? How do you turn it off? And she, in her little sweet Japanese way, and she's only about 4 foot tall, she says, hands on, Reiki on, hands off, Reiki off. And, and that is really true. However, when you're running Reiki, I can be in the grocery store and somebody will need it. I don't know who, but it will start flowing. And I come out of there and my hands are nice and warm and I go, well, someone received a blessing today. And
Yeah.
and the beauty of it is no matter what's going on in my physicality, it will never diminish the Reiki. I mean, I'm recovering from 2 hand surgeries and a knee replacement, and so I'm really not quite at my physical peak, but it does not diminish the Reiki because it's not mine. It flows through
No.
me.
And I can promise you that people feel when you have Reiki, they feel it and they are drawn to you, right?
Yes, I don't advertise that I teach uh, because when a student finds me, then they're ready for Reiki.
Yeah.
To me, it's not a commercial thing. It is, when the student is ready, the teacher appears rather than, the other way around.
And it's interesting because the second one I took, my teacher offered me too, but I wasn't in that place there and then. to be her student to become a master.
Yeah,
And her timeline, she said it takes at least a year. Takes at least
exactly.
a year because it has to do, as you said previously here, it has to do with self-mastery as well. You need,
Exactly.
if you have a big baggage, you still have some stuff, right?
Of
But it's
course.
not the same because you see them differently and you have tools to manage and
Yes.
you have a different way of seeing life. So you master that part of yourself, right?
And it's not like a bad thing, but it's like I love to think of a gemstone. It's gone through pressure, it's gone through heat, it's being crushed and everything else. And then when the jeweler gets hold of it, and like Michelangelo, he says, I wait until the stone tells me what to do. And so we're not being created when we start moving removing these leathers. We are allowing our brilliance to be able to shine through. And it does take removing the I'm not worthy. I was a bad girl. I should be smarter. I All of the things that we were lovingly imposed on us are no longer things that are going to uh, get in our way.
Yeah.
And I have found that when a person is really ready to go beyond one and two and go into the third level, and really start using it. Um, I've had several occasions where I have the person just stay here with me
Yeah.
because uh, we'll do a lot of energy work, but then conversation comes, it flows. It's not like, okay, here we got to read this and we're going to do this. It becomes natural, it becomes visceral. And it just makes my heart sing when I watch these people move into this. One of the greatest challenges they have is sending their ego away. Because when you're working with someone, you don't know that maybe the kidney is trying to tell that person that they're having problems with being too controlling or being out of control, and maybe that's the emotion that's driving that. So allowing, oh, I love that word, allowing the Reiki to do its thing without sitting there going, oh, well, I know this friend is having problems with her boyfriend. Please take care of that and everything else. But as the whole mechanism, the whole energy becomes balanced,
Yeah.
then these dissipate. And I have seen so many miraculous things. Working with a friend of mine who um, had terminal cancer, was on hospice, and he called me. He says, I'm not ready to go. I have things to do. I said, fine. So every week I would go and kind of fill him up with his own energy, Reiki energy, and then he would do what he needed. He lived a year and a half past his death date. I mean, they told him
Fantastic.
he had 6 weeks, and he wasn't ready. So I energy is just,
Yeah.
it is not something I do. It is something that I am.
Yes, you are. And there are also other deep modalities of healing, and I'm talking
Oh yes,
healing at a soul level,
yes,
through the soul and the soul's experiences. And I think that's something both of us do as well, right?
yes. Because when you start recognizing that you are more than what society has told you, and you start finding yourself mastery, yourself, um, and letting these things that no longer serve you go, the soul then can be what it came here to be. And
Yes.
it's just, I just get giddy every time I talk about it or do it. I'm
And
old.
you know, I find that interesting too because we are energetic beings and we are souls having a human experience.
Yes,
We are not taught how to deal with the energies and how to take care of our spiritual hygiene, right? So that's
right.
where that thing comes in. But we do exchange. We live in a world where we are exchanging energy all the time. So taking care, learning to take care of your energy, uh, just like you shower, that's also very, very important. And that can help because in essence, we can clear all blockages and restrictions and things of that nature. But we need to be aware to do it and we need to make conscious choices.
Yep.
But also having sessions with someone helping to clearing those things can be very, very helpful.
Yes.
Organizing
I mean, we take our car in for maintenance. You know, we go to the dentist and take care of these things, and we forget that the greatest gift we can give ourselves is that little bit of extra oomph that that we is going to get us moving through what we need to go through because we have the power to do it. It's just it's it's a challenge. We didn't come here to uh, sit and watch the roses grow. We came here to dig up the ground and plant the roses and be part of everything.
exactly.
Yeah,
And you know, there are so many. We have been talking about singing bowls, tuning forks, Reiki, and soul healing. There are so many different ways, right?
yes,
And sometimes, you know, just go with that which resonates with you if you're listening to this.
yes,
And there are hands-on Reiki people who use their own modalities. There are so many things. But if I would suggest Reiki and soul healing
yep,
because I find them very, very deep and very, very effective. It is like everything else. And when we do healing, we say like we do with Reiki and any other healing, it's a process. But usually people feel a shift within those 3 weeks or
yes,
21 days.
yep,
But it's not over there, right? Then we need to start to continue working with ourselves. And it's a part of um, mastering yourself also,
exactly.
healing your soul.
And what has developed as I've just said this is what I came here to do. And you talk about the soul healing. Um, for years and years and years, I've in my mind, I can hear what people's soul. It's like I'm having this conversation, but I've always kept it to myself. And now I've actually put on my card soul communicator because I'll open the energy with Reiki because that just allows that connection. And then I'm not giving them a prophecy and I'm not, reading their future. What I'm doing is having a conversation with their soul, and their soul says, "Oh, I really want to get this point across and everything." So I literally am translating what the soul is saying to them. And I laughingly say, "Please remember this because I don't read your mail." And that's that's basically what it is. But so many other ways of helping this person heal have come through um, the homework that I've done, and I did not have teachers when I got the urge. I had to scratch my own itch, and I had to say, well, this vibrates with me, and this feels good, and oh well, the four agreements, and oh, the Celestine prophecy, and the bringers of the dawn, and all of these things that I just were dropped in my lap, and I took them to heart, and I did the homework because if I had a magic wand where I could go around and just zap all your problems are gone, I don't know if I'd use it or not. But because that's part of creating who you are.
Yeah,
But it if you have to walk the walk and talk the talk,
yeah.
there's just no other way around it. But it doesn't have to be like, oh, I started this and I'm going to finish in a month, or I started this. No, it's an evolution.
Yeah, it is. And connecting with someone's soul and being able to clear things, helping in that sense. Most people actually feel, in my experience, a shift in the middle of those 21 days.
Oh yeah,
And they can feel that things are coming along differently. They are more aware. It doesn't mean sometimes certain people are just in the beginning of their journey. So it takes a little bit of time to master certain things, right?
yes,
Others have come a long way and they ask, like I did quite a few years ago. And I said, I know so many things. Why am I stuck? Because I really felt stuck. And
yeah,
I felt stuck in my life for over a couple of years. And I couldn't, for my life, understand how I could get myself into that place. And I found someone, and this is interesting. This is also a story about the flow, how things turn out, right? So my soul sister Sue referred a healer to me, and she said she's fantastic. Someone in the United States. I think her name is Brenda Pantango, something like that. I don't
uh-huh,
know if that's her real last name or not. And I worked with her, and she worked with me, to
yeah,
be honest, for maybe 6 months, not continuously, but it periods, 3 times,
yes,
because you need a little bit of space and time in between. And then she said, I think you're ready to do this on your own. And then I had found these advertisements for soul realignment. And I said, no, I'm not going to go that route because I had my fixed ideas about certain things, right?
yep,
But at the end, I said, okay, no, I see this every day. They are sending me this every day. Okay, I just give it a try. So I signed up for a free webinar and I got hooked. So I studied first level, second level, and advanced level. I
yep,
couldn't stop because it's so interesting and work with clients at the same time. And then I had some email conversation with the healer, and she said to me, you know what? And your teacher in soul alignment is my co-student with my teacher. And I
yep,
said, how big can this or small can this world be? Right. And then my soul sister, she got sick.
yep,
It was Christmas 2022. And she asked me to help to connect with this healer, Brenda, because she didn't have the strength and it was easier for me, right? So I found her and I talked to her. And we actually talked, I think, an hour over the phone or something. And she wanted also to help Sue a little bit, so that I connected them too. But it turned out in the early 2000s, when I started my conscious journey, I loved to read books from someone called Dr. Joshua David Stone.
uh,
I Am University. Books like um, soul psychology, a lot of things in that nature, right? I was hooked up in that. And she said to me, well, my work is based on his protocols. And I said, are you kidding me?
yep,
I don't know how many books from this guy. He passed away 2005 or 6, and I'm promise I saw him in my bedroom once because I was sitting in my bed reading one of his books, and I saw him. He came.
yeah.
So that's fantastic. See how these things work?
Is that have anything to do with synchronicity? I've heard that word before. You know?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it has.
But that is how we move from a subtle suggestion and we move this way. It's I don't think anybody has just, well, I'm not saying because I don't know, just all of a sudden awakened and said, you know, this is what I am, and I've done all my homework. The human experience is to have a process, and it's a glorious process. But like you said, all of these things that we do are the bridge to help us reconnect with our inner intuition. And then eventually we don't need the bridge anymore because we're just constantly there. And using the modalities to assist you to get there. And I have to go back to Reiki again. I found that if I have someone come and they really are stuck, if they will do 3 consistent days, it's like you peel the onion. The next day, you don't have to go back and start over again. You peel it. And the phenomenal experiences that they have in just taking care of themselves just for those 3 days is amazing. And then doing the maintenance. But it gets in there and it's like doing the deep cleaning. And
That's
yes,
fantastic.
so I haven't read ahead in what you sent me for little talking notes, but something tells me that there are 5 questions that I'm going to be squirming in my chair over.
Yeah, I'm putting the lights on you.
I'll put them right back.
And look at me here. Now we go for the questions. I'm just kidding.
Okay,
I love
okay,
So we love to have 5 simple questions that are related to our topic each and every time, because even if we are asking, I ask Karine, and sometimes she's throwing it back to me, and uh, for a joke or just how I feel about that specific thing, right? But
right.
each and every one of you listening to this, you can actually review things and ponder about how would you think and feel about these questions? What would your answer be? Because that's the purpose of the questions, right? So
Yes.
here comes the first one.
Okay.
What first drew you to explore healing frequencies?
Ah, that's very interesting. Um, on a conscious level, when I went to massage school, I was being introduced to some of the different healing modalities that were available. But it was at the end of my first uh, 300 hours of massage. And my friend said to me, would you like to take Reiki? And I go, oh, I've had Jin Shin and Tao brushing and Tibetan pulsing and all these things, and I like this. And besides, I like doing what I'm doing with the massage. And she said the magic words: if I have Reiki, I can work within a person's energy field, and I'm an empath. This helps, and not feel their stuff, and not they won't feel mine. So I took it basically just as a to keep me from merging those two energies, and it resonated. And then a year later I had my second level, and then that's when I started really becoming in tune with my connection to my higher self and to my soul. And I also had all that time to still start cleaning out the debris that had kept me. So once I started working more with energy, it just became okay. This is it. If it can do all of these things and I don't have to lift anything, I'm hey, listen, I'm a smart person. I will go with what is pure.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, Reiki, it's uh, flowing through you or
Yes,
anyone who has Reiki. It's not making you use your own energy to give to someone else, and you don't feel depleted.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that's perfect. So, how do you personally feel when you work with tuning forks or sound tools or any other healing?
Well, because we are all energy, when I'm working with these modalities, I also feel it, and it's helping me balance as well as with the other person. And it becomes where when you start really resonating with the frequency, it's almost like, oh, they're selling vanilla ice cream, I'm going to go over there. You feel it, and you want to be around it. And
Yeah,
for lack of a better word, it feels good.
it feels really good. It does. Because when you have the Reiki energy flowing through you, you also get your boost from it.
Absolutely.
Always. So, what is one gentle practice anyone can try at home to feel more balanced?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
And I may have an answer to that. One of many answers. But one thing that I learned before I really got understanding what Reiki was or what energy was, I felt that uh, when I would do it to myself and I would start and just put my hands a little bit above my head, and it felt good. And then as I would bring it down, I felt kind of charged. And then I would kind of like this, not really understanding what it was. But we are constantly emitting energy from our being. And
Yes.
what I was doing was it would hit my hands and bounce into me. So I was feeding myself, not really understanding. And I started teaching this to everybody that came in for massage. Uh, you drive home and you know that you've got that waiting for you. So you sit in the car and you do this, recharges you. You know you're going to go talk to the boss, recharges you. And that's something that everybody can do. What you're doing is you're using your own innate energy and refilling yourself because it's always going out. But if you just, you know, calm it down and keep it there. And I invite people that are watching right now to try it. I mean, this is real. You're going to feel it. And that's a good way to just to start. And then start
Yeah.
checking out some of the modalities that are available to you. There's so many beautiful ways. Um, I just happened to be, that's where my destiny was. But because I have utilized singing bowls, tuning forks, jin shin, acupuncture, all of these things that I have in my lifetime in hand, I mean, been embraced by, they may resonate with you more than this one or that one. Find your happy place.
Yeah, exactly. And I would add to that also, start learning how to monitor your energy. And it sounds more difficult than it is. It's not really difficult at all. Try different. There are so many different ways as well. But I would suggest, like the one Kareen just told us about, as one thing to recharge yourself,
Uh-huh.
grounding yourself into Mother Earth. A way of doing that that I use, I just see very thick roots coming from my feet, going down into the middle of the
Yep.
earth. So that can make someone feel stability. Monitor, do you feel scattered? Do you feel like your energy is all over the place, um, directed to many places at the same time? Try to gather, cut cords. That's another way of doing it. Energetic cords, because we
Yes.
do these energetic cords. When I see them, they look, it sounds gross, they look like tentacles, like from an octopus or something,
Yep.
and they can become really thick. But it's natural. We shouldn't be afraid of exchanging energy because that is how we live here in this reality.
Right.
But it's not supposed to remain and build up. That's
Exactly.
a hint that something is off here. But everything can be fixed. But if you just say, I'm cutting all the cords, energetic cords that are not for my highest good, or uh, that I don't feel I need, or however you want to phrase that, but also fill it with light
Yes.
or
Always.
love or something
Yes.
always afterwards, and discover other ways. I recently, I think it's 3 years now, and this was given to me. I was like a question mark first, and I said, "What am I going to do with this?" But it's about frequencies and healing as well. So when I feel to recharge, I just state, and I can see them. I say I place myself within the crystal city with at least 500 megahertz energy, and that helps me, recharges me. I've
Yes.
seen three crystal cities, but there are so many more, and they are very high dimensional. So it's a very pure energy. And there
Yes.
are a million other ways of doing things. So
Yes.
find your way. But I would suggest easy things because in this world, okay, no, I have no time now. So I'm going to do it later, right? Things that you can do when you take a shower in the morning, you can do these things at the same time, brushing your teeth, on your way to work, driving the car,
Yes.
things that doesn't take that long time. Plus, when you have time, you can go deeper, right?
Yes. Yes. And we happen to know a little bit about meditation and the healing of that. And and then I heard something one time. There were these two ladies, and they were talking about, oh, the four agreements, being
Yes,
impeccable with your speech. And if the
yes,
voice vibrates and changes things, then uh, speaking about yourself in loving ways. So there are many ways that are available to you, and believe me, I know you and I utilize every opportunity to incorporate all of these wonderful gifts in our lives because
yes,
we're still having this human experience.
we do. Fourth question.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding now. You're not off the hook yet.
Oh, all righty. Okay.
I'm just kidding. So, how would you describe Reiki to someone completely new to energy work?
In the many times that I've done business cards and I try to find a way, Reiki being a universal energy, it is going to restore balance and harmony, and it allows you to have the tools to gently put yourself in that place of healing. Um, Another way to describe it is bringing peace to the present moment, because it is only when you are at peace will you heal.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. Beautiful. Beautifully said.
Thank you.
So, which frequency or tool has supported you the most on your own healing journey?
You went to the question box, didn't you again? Okay. Throughout my lifetime, as I was incorporating this particular modality or that particular modality, at that time they were very important. However, I have to say that, in my opinion, and what I feel, is the Reiki energy is always pure and divine. And I think the Reiki energy is in all these different modalities.
Yes.
But because we have such a varied eclectic climate with people, they may find a different tool that is going to be more beneficial to them and resonate with that. But always keep an open mind, because as you're doing your journey, you may find that this really helped you then, and this really helped you then, and everything else. But understanding myself now, I understand that Reiki is in all living things. I mean, what does it say? Universal life force
Yeah.
is the chi, and that in China they use life force, they use chi. In India, life force is prana. In Japanese, it is ki. So you see, it is in all the modalities. And so I have to say, I am Reiki.
Yes. You're Reiki. And that was beautifully said as well. Fantastic. Is there anything we didn't talk about today? Did we leave
Well,
out something?
I'm sure that we could probably speak on this beautiful subject, from here until the end of time. But I think we've given people a lot to think about, and just little glimpses of what they have available to them. And I encourage everyone to find your niche. Uh, Go, and as you're brushing your teeth, have that mindful meditation. As you're doing daily things, and don't feel that you have to build a special room to do meditation. As you're walking, you meditate. As you are aware of things, to be impeccable with your speech. All of these tools that I mean, I constantly use them. I don't just talk about them. I'm constantly, and I love it when one of the four agreements is don't make assumptions. And I'm going, ooh, I just assumed. And I, I mean, that's the beauty of being human. We get to trial
Yeah.
and error, and hopefully
Yes.
our errors are less than our trials. So, you know,
But we always going to do that, and we need to be loving towards ourselves and not punish ourselves for it, because there's
absolutely,
many people out there who are so good to others, but they are so hard on themselves, right? So we
exactly,
demand too much of ourselves sometimes. We're human beings. Awareness is the key also. So if I do something, okay, oops, well, I correct myself.
exactly. And you know how much I love laughter. I
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's, to me, that's the cosmic eraser, and it just it resets the energy and allows you to look at it from a not so serious. And one of the things that I've found as I meet people that are on their journey, and they're so serious, and I thought, man, if I were studying with you, and you just kept forcing me all this seriousness, I mean, I wouldn't do it. I need to have laughter. I need to have lightness. I need to have watch as things happen and unhappen, and we have as much unhappening as we do happening. So I mean, that's just the process. So, but you gotta have the giggle and the belly
Yes.
laugh.
And one can actually say, because it's very fitting for today's show, that laughter is also healing. It is healing.
It is. And that has
And
been scientifically proved. So that's not just us talking. It really does
no,
change. It changes every cell in your body. And the documentations of people that have added laughter to their healing process are the ones that really come out on the other side.
exactly. And, you know, when sometimes if you have a day where you feel really, oh my goodness, I don't know how I'm going to come through this day, and you see something or you remember something, it might be very, very silly, but you can't help yourself and you start laughing. That's it.
I
That
remember
raises the energy.
our being around little babies before they speak. And I mean, all you have to do is just wiggle and they start giggling. And it's contagious. You just can't help it. You got to just keep that little giggle coming. And I've done classes with people where we just start laughing and then it becomes contagious and then we're laughing. And so maybe for 30, 40 minutes, we're just laughing. It doesn't have to be at something. It's just, it just is releasing all of this beautiful endorphins and
It
and
releases tension and it cuts energy, you
exactly,
know, it cuts energy that feels unpleasant. And that's
exactly.
brilliant. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And you have and I sometimes we'll be talking about something and even on air, and we get giggling and it's nonstop. It's don't come on, don't start the
No, no,
machine.
no. You click the button.
I
I'm
did,
just kidding.
I did.
Or woke the bear.
Yep,
Bear. I
yep.
always say beer. I don't even drink beer.
Poke
Bear.
you poked the bear, poke the bear.
Yes. Poke the
Yeah,
bear.
poke the bear. Yeah.
So what do you say? Are we ready to wrap it up?
Well, I like I said, if you got me wound up and I could keep on going, but I think for the sake of everyone around, we should maybe say our nice seeing you, and we're going to be leaving you with these special thoughts.
Yes. And you have a precious student as well, Reiki student.
Yes,
So
yes,
I want to give people a heads up of your Tuesday evenings open heart meditation if they haven't tried that out. If you are in the area of Phoenix or Mesa, Arizona in the US, you can find Corrine every Tuesday. She has an open heart meditation.
yes.
People gather with her, and it's really, one could say, mind blowing because you can feel that energy. It's life
Oh,
changing, is a better word.
yes,
And you can call Corrine at 480-250-1815, or you can email her at lqenergy@yahoo.com, and also find her at her website, liquidenergyhealing.com. So I would suggest anyone who has the opportunity, who are in the Mesa, Phoenix area in Arizona, to at least try it out. And I know you're going to be hooked. I know it.
well, yes. Everybody leaves having refilled their energy, but the beauty is that as each person sits here, we had 7 here last night, and one of my students said no, we had 8 because she was counting me, and each person has the ability to hold this energy. And mathematically, Greg Braden has said that one person holding that meditative state can affect 1,000 other people. So 8,000 people or more felt a twinge of this energy that was going to maybe make them make that decision between yelling at their child or finding a different way, um, running that red light or stopping. So I don't know, because that's not my business to know. I just hold the energy, and yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It is amazing. So, our next upcoming show with Cosmic Sisters and the brilliant and beautiful Corinne Mooney and myself, Anne, going to be next Wednesday, January 28th. So we're soon ending January. Hey, wait a minute. Going too fast here. I'm just kidding.
It is.
And and we will talk about interweaving eternity, the tapestry of soul connections. That's going to be
Oh,
interesting too. Yeah, deep
yes.
one. You can find upcoming and past episodes at our brand new YouTube channel for Cosmic Guardians at youtube.com/ at Cosmic Guardians 111. Right? You can also find past and upcoming episodes because we continue on the one we used to stream on. youtube.com/ at Angel Place on Earth / streams. Find our series, currently two series, the four agreements. And we're going to have a new look at that and add some new things, the fifth agreement and some other stuff
Yes.
later on this year. Find our series, which also includes the Celestial Prophecy. Sorry, going back and forth here. At angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians. We do go live for you every Wednesday in US and Europe, and that means our future every Thursday in Australia in the middle of the night, very early morning. But anyway, connect with us, read articles, find out all about us, and find Kareen and her website and everything at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. And we always love to end with a beautiful affirmation. Do you want me to read it or you?
I'm going to let you today.
Okay. So today's affirmation is I attune to the frequencies of harmony, and every breath brings me deeper into balance. My energy is clear, my heart is open, and I move through this moment aligned with peace and purpose.
Beautiful words. And by the way, uh, Anna is the beautiful one that comes up with these incredible affirmations. So,
Oh, thank you.
you know, I'm encouraging her to put them down in book form so we have them saved forever, because
We're going to save them, I promise.
yes, yes,
And, that's just me receiving, being in the flow. It's another way of channeling, you could say, right?
yep, yep,
And as we close our circle today, may the frequencies we explored continue to ripple through your day with softness, clarity, and renewed alignment. Remember, every moment offers a chance to tune inward, to listen, and to return to your natural harmony. Whether through sound, touch, breath, or intention, your energy is always, sorry, guiding you home. Until we meet again, keep shining, keep trusting, and keep rising in your cosmic brilliance. Your
yes,
cosmic sisters, Anne and Corinne, are sending you waves of love and luminous resonance. With infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you, we hear you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you. From us to you. Thank you. Bye.